Good afternoon, everyone. For copyright infringement, I did not own the videos that I'm gonna use this in on this YouTube channel. They belong to its rightful owners. But first, I'm gonna check myself if I am audible. Yes, I'm audible. Okay. Today, what I'm gonna read or share is about Ncbts Volume 1, English. I don't know if I can see myself. Why it's still dark in here? Mhm. I can see myself now. Which is an individualized education program, IEP. First of all, I'm not perfect in pronunciation and whatever it is. It is for my personal use and I'm gonna share to public. But it's up to me if I'm gonna put it into unlisted. One for which is an individualized education program, E Y E IEP. One, reinforcement of the foundation of learning. Two, helping pupils overcome their learning difficulties. Three, developing learners' potentials. One, one only. B, two only. C, three only. D, one, two, and three. The answer is letter D. One, two, and three, reinforcement of the foundation of either still one. Okay. This is it. I'll check myself first. The background is very noisy. Letter D, the reinforcement of the foundation of learning. Two, helping pupils overcome their learning difficulties. Three, developing learners' potentials. All of the above is the answer, so it's letter D. Individualized education program. It is a written statement of the educational program designed to meet child's individual needs. Two, general purposes. To set reasonable learning goals for a child. To state the services that the school district will provide for the child. Number two, what should be done first before doing remedial instruction? A. Diagnose the difficulty. B. Prepare remedial materials. C. Plan the remedial instruction. D. Group the pupils by gender. The answer is letter A. Diagnose the difficulty. That is what should be done before doing remedial instruction. Rationalization, letter A, is the correct answer, and the correct order is diagnose the difficulty, that's number one. Number two, plan the remedial instruction. Three, prepare remedial instruction. And letter D is a negative item. Group the pupils by gender. Number three, the following are remedial teaching strategies except blank. A. Individualized educational program or IEP. B. Peer support program. C. Reward scheme. D. Test and drill. The answer is test and drill. So all of the following are strategies in remedial teachings, and remedial teaching. Individualized education program, IEP, B, peer support program, and reward scheme, except the test and drill. Remedial teaching strategies are always learner centered, thus, it considers the needs, interest, and the environment suited for conducive learning. A, B, and C all cater to the individual interests and needs of the remedial learner. The negative item is behavioristic. 4. Is remedial instruction the same as special education? A. No. However, remedial instruction may include children with special needs if they are diagnosed with difficulty. B. Yes. Both remedial instruction and special education serve learners that need help. C. It depends on the clientele of remedial instruction. D. No. They are far apart and not in any way related. The answer is no. However, remedial instruction may include children with special needs if they are diagnosed with difficulty. That's letter A. Remedial program is designed for students who are not performing well in school. The remedial students are not struggling because of their intellectual abilities, but because of one subject area or more. Special education designed for students who lack the intellectual ability to perform in a class that teaches standardized concepts and subjects. The content and delivery is adapted to help meet the needs of each individual student. 5. Which statement on remedial teaching is wrong? Remedial teaching involves blank. A. Working systematically, observing, diagnosing, remediating, evaluating. B. Working purposefully and intensively with a pupil. C. Seeking to it that the pupil can remain at his or her school. D. Reteaching, reviewing, and assessing. Letter D. Reteaching, reviewing, and assessing. The answer is letter D. Reteaching, reviewing, and assessing. A, B, and C are practices in a remedial class. D is used for a regular class. 6. What does remedial instruction focus on? A. Content. B. Skills. C. Grammar. D. Test. The answer, letter B. Skills. Remedial education is assigned to assess students in order to achieve expected competence in core academic skills such as literacy and numeracy. 7. Which practices mean success for learners with reading difficulties? 1. Be clear on what students must know, understand, and be able to do in order to grow in their grasp of a subject. 2. Build scaffolding leading to student success in those goals. Don't dilute the goal. 3. Make use of several avenues of learning. Make students hear it, sing it, read it. A 1, 2, and 3. B 2 and 3. C 1 and 2. D 1, 2, and 3. The answer is A 1, 2, and 3. Namely, uh, letter D is the same with, but still the same answer. Namely, be clear on what students must know, understand, and be able to do in order to grow in their grasp of a subject. That's one. Two, build scaffolding leading to student success in those goals. Don't dilute the goal. Three, make use of several avenues of learning. Make students hear it, sing it, read. Pronounce. 1, 2, and 3. Instructional clarity. 2 is social constructivism. 3, differentiated instruction. All can help learners with reading difficulties. 8. For effective remedial instruction, work for learning in context. What does learning in context mean? A. Make students see how ideas and skills connect to their families and communities. B. Make students see how important concepts and skills are. C. Make use of problem solving. D. Avoid miscontextualization. B. Significance. C. Constructivism. D. Existentialism or progressivism. 9. Which can increase the effectiveness of remedial teaching. A. Let student know that you believe in him or her. B. Direct student to work harder whether he or she likes it or not. C. Do not allow him or her to play until she or he can do the task. D. Engage him or her in a continuous drill until until she or he learns the skill. Why I cannot see my why it's gone. Nawala. Share a screen again. Window then open. Okay, let's go back in here. Which can increase the effectiveness of remedial teaching. A. Let student know what you believe in him or her. B. Direct student to work harder whether he or she likes it or not. D. Do not allow him or her to play until he or she can do the task. D. Engage him or her in the continuous drill until he or she learns the skill. The answer is letter A. Let student know that you believe in him or her. I guess the connection was gone. It's here again. That's it. A is a positive feeling. B, whether she likes it or not. C, do not allow him or her. D, continuous drill. Number 10, because reading remediation requires building skills rather than learning course content, which should reading trainers do? I, minimize testing and grading. 2, observe the student in the actual act of reading. 3, make reading classes a grammar class. A, 1 and 2. B, 2 only. C, 3 only. D, 1, 2, and 3. The answer is, why it's like this. Just gonna hang it. The answer is 1 and 2. It has no rationalization. It's up to you what you believe in this. One is minimize testing and grading. Two, observe the student in the actual act of reading. Three, make reading classes a grammar class. So obviously it's not. The answer here is 1 and 2. You cannot make reading classes a grammar class. 11. Which statement about the use of voice in academic or scientific writing is not true? The answer is A. Scientific or academic writing use the passive voice more than the active voice. Advantages of active voice in scientific writing. One, emphasizes author responsibility. Example, we failed in the experiment. The experiment was failed by us. Two, improves readability. Example, vitamin A increased the risk of hair loss. The risk of hair loss was increased by vitamin A. Three, reduces ambiguity. Example, both human and animal studies suggest that diabetics have general immune dysfunction at the leukocyte level. General dysfunction of the immune system at the leukocyte level is suggested by both animal and human studies. 12. Which of the following statements about hedging is incorrect? Writers use aspects of the verb as devices to distance themselves from a claim. And hedging, academic words that strongly and sharply express commitment to their criticism. C. ESP learners need to appreciate the role of hedging in academic, professional, and business genres and to manipulate its actual linguistic devices. D. In research or in the professional community, the criticism Mr. De La Cruz appears not to have understood my point is hedge and is more acceptable than the statement Mr. De La Cruz definitely did not understand my point. The answer is letter B. When hedging, academic writers use words that strongly and sharply express commitment to their criticism. So all of the others are correct except this letter B. Hedges are an important part of polite conversation. They make what we say less direct. 13. Which statement pairs contrast belief best discourse analysis from genre? Which statement compares contrast best discourse analysis from genre analysis? A. Discourse analysis is any study of language text at a level above that of the sentence. Genre analysis is a text analysis focused on the regularities of structure that distinguished one type of text from another. B. Discourse analysis is the global umbrella term for text analysis, while genre analysis is a part of discourse analysis. C. Discourse analysis is valuable in looking at spoken and written business text, while genre analysis is useful in looking at both written and spoken text in all areas of ESP. D. Discourse analysis includes the study of cohesive links between sentences, of paragraph structure, or the structure of the whole text. The answer is letter A. Discourse analysis is any study of language text at a level above that of the sentence. Genre analysis is a text analysis focused on the regularities of structure that distinguish one type of text from another. Discourse analysis of language beyond the sentence. General analysis area of discourse analysis that studies written and spoken discourse. Academic, corporate, legal, approaching them in terms of genres, types of discourse. Yellow. Tanawa na na, mora na akong colored paper.
Ay, dili. Yellow.
Yellow. Ay, yellow paper. Colored paper na. Ay, wala ko yellow pad.
Ano yun?
Wala. Science kaya. Yellow pad na yellow paper.
Yellow pa.
Wala ko yellow pad. Pag college pa to. Asa na? 14. Which statement below best defines ESP? A. ESP is a language teaching approach which is based on learners' need. B. ESP is an approach, not a product. C. ESP is a particular kind of language or methodology. D. ESP consists of a particular type of teaching material. The answer is A. ESP is a language teaching approach which is based on learners' need. ESP is based on need analysis. 15. Which type of knowledge is not required of the ESP teacher? A. A positive attitude towards the ESP content. B. A knowledge of the fundamental principles of the subject area. C. An awareness of how much they probably already know. A. A letter D. A specialist subject knowledge. The answer is letter D. A specialist subject knowledge. An ESP teacher doesn't need to learn specialist subject knowledge. They require three things only. Choices in A, B, and C, Chapter 13, the role of an ESP teacher. Hence, the ESP teacher should not become a teacher of the subject matter, but rather an interested student of the subject matter. 16. One of the consistent problems of ESP teachers is the lack of an orthodoxy. This means that ESP teachers do not have a ready-made, straightforward answers to problems they meet. 2. ESP teachers need to distill and synthesize from several options those that suit their circumstances. 3. All ESP teachers are pioneers who are helping to shape the world of ESP. The answer is letter D 1, 2, and 3, all of the above. Authenticity is a feature of a text, not a characteristic. A text alone has no value since in ESP any text is automatically removed from its original context. There can be no such thing as an authentic text in ESP. As the example of the use or non-use of authentic text illustrates, ESP teachers will often have no orientate themselves to difficult problems with little or no guidance. In short, ESP teachers resorted to options 1, 2, and 3. 17, and not 17. Another problem that constantly faces ESP teachers is the new realms of knowledge that ESP teachers have to cope with. This suggests that blank A and B. It suggests that ESP teachers have to struggle to master a language and subject matter they know very little about. It's mali siya pagkakuan ko lang siya og why. Letter B, ESP teachers often feel a sense of utter inadequacy at their ability to cope. Check na ko malibog ko ano. Pronunciation ano. Often the often. Okay.
Often,
Often.
often,
Often. Okay. Ang pag-pronounce na OFTEN kay often. Uh, often. Otter. Kapoy pronounce. ESP teachers may also have to struggle to master language and subject matter beyond the bounds of their previous experience. Teachers who Teachers who have been trained for general English teaching or for the teaching of literature may suddenly find themselves having to teach with text those whose context they know little or nothing about. 3. Questions to ask. Does the content of ESP materials need to be highly specialized? B. Why do so many ESP teachers find it difficult to comprehend subject matter? C. What kind of knowledge is required for ESP teacher? 18. Which type of syllabus would contain the following set of topics? Making arrangements, attending meetings, taking part in an interview, buying and selling, and, and it must have the buying and selling, etc. A. Structural situational syllabus. B. Skill syllabus. Skill. C. Functional or notional syllabus. D. Functional task based syllabus. The answer is functional or task based syllabus. A. Structural or situational. B. Academic skills. C. Functional or notional. Functions performed in language use and notions that a language is used to express. D. Functional or situational. Simulation. 19. Which type of syllabus would contain the following set of topics? Taking notes, writing essays, Malat na bata ka raw pronounce. Study techniques and examinations, improving your reading, etc. The answer is skills and strategies. Skills product oriented observable behaviors, strategies, process oriented cognitive operations. The reader engages in generally thought to be unobservable. Note taking and writing essays Skills. It is skills. Study questions and improving your reading strategy. Which type of syllabus would contain the following set of topics: properties and shapes, location, structure, actions and sequence, and effect, etc. The answer is functional notional syllabus. Letter C. Notional functional syllabus. Notions, categories of meaning. What are what Wilkins 1978 has called semantico-grammatical categories. Notion, categories of meaning, semantic semantico-grammatical categories, which are usually characterized by interaction between categories of meaning and grammatical form in most languages. Time, duration, agent, instrument, and structures, uses to which communicative purpose of language. Examples are agreement, greeting, approval, prediction, requesting, directions, apologizing, and so on. 21. Which type of syllabus would contain the following set of topics: the nature of generalizations, general and specific information, levels of generality, etc. The answer is letter B, discourse skills syllabus. 22. Which type of syllabus would contain the following set of topics: exercises and personal evaluation, exercises in examining job needs, exercises in using the ads, etc. The answer is letter A, skill syllabus. Exercises, writing activities. 23. Which program for school staff members and teachers was conducted to better match students with their aptitude and career interest? A. Project Effective and Affordable Secondary Education, or EASE. B. Revitalized Homeroom Guidance Program, or RHGP. C. School Based Education, or SBE. D. Thinking Skills Development for Maximized Cognitive Performance, TSD MCP. The answer is letter A, Project Effective and Affordable Secondary Education. And in class sessions, it provided a temporary stay at home solution until the student was able to return to the formal classroom setting. RGHP, a counseling program where school staff given a week-long training to better match students and their aptitude and career interest. SBE, a form of self evaluation by schools which was initiated, planned, and administered by the principal and the teacher themselves. The SDM that initiated in 6 schools to research and develop steps to improve student cognitive and thinking skills. 24, which was the secondary education curriculum that was implemented in 1989 to replace the revised secondary education program, or RSEP, a program for decentralized education, or PRODED. B. Secondary Education Development Program, or ECDP. C. New Secondary Education Curriculum, or NSEC. D. Revised Secondary Education Curriculum, or RSEC. The answer is New Secondary Education Curriculum, or NSEC. Letter C. The secondary education curriculum that was implemented in 1989 to replace the revised secondary education program or RSEP ang gipublikay NSEC. RSEP to NSEC. Proded launched by DEX in 1983 to 1984 for elementary education to modify the curriculum and put emphasis on science, technology, math, reading, and writing. SEDP. Main objectives were to strengthen the Ministry of Science, Technology, Education, and Culture, or MOSTEC, develop the quality and coverage of basic, non-formal, and secondary education, create a driven vocation training TVET by the science and technology capacity at the tertiary NSEC. Its main objectives were continuation prodded, giving emphasis on science and technology, mathematics, reading and writing, improve the value of high school graduates, and develop education. RSEC 1970 secondary curriculum replaced by NSEC in 1989. 25 in the K to 12 curriculum to which does the basic education refer. Letter D 6 years of elementary education, 4 years of junior high school, and 2 years of senior high school. Oh, grade 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. K to 12 curriculum to which does the basic education refer? It refers to 6 years of elementary education, 4 years of junior high school, and 2 years of senior high school. It is an A or Republic Act 10533 Section 6, RA 10533 Section 6, RA 10533 Section 6, 26, which is the main objective of the K to 12 program. The answer is letter A to provide sufficient time for mastery of concepts and skills, develop lifelong learners for tertiary education, level skills development, employment, and entrepreneurship. 27. The K to 12 curriculum envisions blank. The answer is A. Holistically develop learners with 21st century skills. 6 salient features of K to 12 program. 1. Strengthening early childhood education through universal kindergarten. 2. Making the curriculum relevant to learners. 3. Ensuring integrated and seamless learning. 4. Building proficiency through use of mother tongue based multilingual education. 5. Provision of career tracks. 6. Nurturing holistically developed Filipino. 28. The new curriculum will be the learners. Letter B. 29. Who will be the first beneficiaries of the free senior high school education of the K to 12 curriculum? The answer is letter A. Incoming freshmen of 2012 to 20 incoming freshmen of school year 2012 to 2013. According to the development of education, it's a development. 30, according to the depart 30, according to the Department of Education, which subject area will be integrated into the teaching of language? The answer is science. Grade 1, 2, 3. 31. The transcription type represents the word type. 32. The transcription rich represents the word rich. 33. The transcription this represents the word this. Which group has a letter that differs in voicing from the other three? The answer is N, F, the P. Tama ba ko? A Ang letter A, MGJS is voiceless. And F, hindi ko sure, pagbasa na, or I don't know how to read this, haha. It's voice. All of the other are voiceless. The DLRS, it's voiceless. BPRV, it's voiceless also. 35. For each group, identify the segment that differs in pace and articulation from the other three. The answer is letter C. Just like that, I don't want to read. I don't know how to read it. Oh, I don't know where is my book. It's my book because I bought it from the school. So I have an English book here. Just like having that kind of thing. I just don't know where is it. Gutom mo kaan sa ko og dates. Para na ako ika-dates sa February. Nakot another 3 dates. I don't know where did I put now the book. It's not notebook, it's a book. I'm low, but that's not me who is low, but the thing that I'm using. Where's the? I'm still hungry. I really don't know how to read this word. This. It's the. It's nothing like that. Just forget about it. No problema na yun daw. What's the rationalization on the. It's thing. Tama ako na utok. Na-remember na ako kay Sir kasi Jen Vermal Negro. Kanina word kay ang pagbasa. Nakita ba kung itudlo ko? Ang letter C na siya marag o thing na siya. Letter T ang pagbasa thing. Gusto ko nagtanong og dates. Dira sa pagbasa sa problema na nimo matanaw ka na. Bastos kay ko. 36. Which one has the correct stress? A. Ceremony. B. Ceremony. C. Ceremony. D. Ceremony. D akong answer mo ako. Hambot na siya tama. Ha, C. Ceremony. Which is the best synonym for the following words? Precious. A. Necessary. B. Valuable. C. Irregular. Obviously. 38. Ang answer kay sa 37. Precious or valuable or valuable. 38. 38. Unique. Special. Bulky. Awkward. Awkward man. Search na ako. Ilagay ko convinced. Ano? Ang synonym good niya. Ito, synonym man, di ba? Ang synonym sa bulky kay large, big, great, o huge, or sizable. Sorry. Heavy, hulking, ponderous. Okay, awkward. Hmm, awkward. 40. Assist, help. 41. Advocate, support. 42. Authorize, empower. Bless, consecrate. 44. Try, attempt. Startle, surprise. Utter, say. Thrill, excite. Wreck, crash. Which is the best antonym for the following words? Virtuous, gentle. Conquer, surrender. Criticize, acclaim. Enormous, very small. 53. Relegate, secret. To assign to a place of insignificance or of oblivion, put out of sight or mind. Muna siya ang yang gipasabot. To avoid tell. Uh, there is some I wanna tell. Di ba naman pronounce? Telling the truth by not directly answering a question. To deposit or conceal in hiding place. Instigate, hesitate. To cause something to happen or begin. To stop something before you do something. Hesitate. Legalize, outlaw. Mourn, rejoice. Oppress, inspire. Attach, detach. Export, import. Donate, take. Which 61, which has an odd, odd sounding word in the following group of words? Mountain, maintain, domain, contain, mountain, mountain. 62. Discern the semantic similarities in the following items by identifying the sentences with a different meaning. A. The answer is A. He paid almost 30,000 pesos for his new personal computer. B. This new personal computer cost a little less than 30,000 pesos. D. The new personal computer he bought cost him about 30,000 pesos. The answer is C. At 30,000 pesos, his personal computer was expensive. Discern the semantic similarities in the following items by identifying the sentences with different meaning. 63. Which word is supposed to be stressed when speaker means that the robber may have may have taken some jewelry. See, I didn't say he stole the money. 64. How many morphemes are there in transportation? 4. Transport. Ambot. Basta answer 4. 65. Which of the following sentences is done in acceptable English? Maria desires that you go. 66. Which is the correct and preferred sentence? Kuya, quiet. B. I offered a meal to the visitor who was hungry. 67. Which is the closest meaning of the root word philanthropist? Benevolent. Where should the modifier weighing 150 pounds be placed in the following sentence? The robber was described as a tall man with a heavy mustache. A. The robber weighing 150 pounds was described as a tall man with heavy mustache. 69. Which is the free morpheme in the word examination? Exam. 70. Which is the appropriate homonym for blue in the following sentence? Then wind blew the rain clouds away, leaving a clear blue sky. Homophone, same pronunciation but different in meaning. Homograph, same spelling but different in meaning. 71. Select the sentence that has the modifier placed correctly. Emotional intelligence, which emerged a decade ago, includes the abilities to motivate yourself and persist in the face of frustrations. A Emotional intelligence, which emerged a decade ago, includes the abilities to motivate yourself and persist in the face of frustrations. Which 72, which is the best ending for the following sentence? Pupils are required to be in their classrooms by 8 a.m. each morning. Hence, letter B, pupils coming late will be punished accordingly. 73. Which of the following words contain a voiced th or th sound? The answer is therefore. 74. Which sentence is punctuated correctly? The answer is in that college you have to take the following courses: 4 years of English, 3 years of math, 3 years of social studies, and 3 years of science. Piyawanan ako inay something. Ikaw mo na body. Kiss ni ate, kiss. Naka-film yung naglakaw sa likod. 75. Select the words that best complete the following sentence. Blank with repeated rejections of her novel. Isabel Blanc to submit has manuscript to other her manuscript to other publishers. Undaunted, undaunted with repeated rejections of her novel, Isabel continued to submit her manuscript to other publishers. 76. Given below are some of the contributions of theoretical linguistics to language teaching, except one, which is the exception. D. Different approaches to language teaching. Theoretical linguistics, branch of linguistics that inquires into the nature of language or languages without regard for practical applications. It is concerned with constructing theories of language or languages, or with developing linguistic theory. Letter D. Applied linguistics approaches in language teaching have specific practical applications. 77. All the options below except one are some of the contributions of applied linguistics to language teaching. Which one is not? The relationships relationships between and among sentences in a text. Applied linguistics, an interdisciplinary field which identifies, investigates, and offers solutions to language related real life problems. A whole language approach in teaching. B. Differentiated instruction in English. Letter C. Language assessment. D. Theoretical basis for grammar. 78. Good instructional materials produce satisfactory results only if the teacher blank. D. Is knowledge Apa ya pronounce ay taka is knowledgeable of developments and the principles underlying those materials. A. Forma over substance. The letter B has not fully mastered. Letter C. Disorganized classroom. Letter D is a positive feeling. 79. Which situation best assures that the good findings of linguistics will reach the end users? Letter D. Teachers pick up and put to good use findings of linguistics in their language. Theory without practice is useless. 80. What attitude needs to be maintained by language teachers about the findings of linguistics? Letter D. Knowledge is in a continuous state of flux. Be open to new developments and give them a try. Grain of salt, accepting something with slight doubt and skepticism. 81. In the machine of language teaching and language learning, who appears to be the most important cog? The teacher. Cog, a subordinate that plays an integral part in the teaching learning process. 82. You are the classroom English teacher of Russia, a new language learner who has no knowledge of English whatsoever. Which of the following contributions of linguistics will be most helpful to you to teach her successfully? The answer is letter D, the reshaping of your view, attitude, and concept of language and language learning. 83. Genre analysis, macro discourse patterns, text analysis, micro discourse analysis are concept developments in linguistics. Which list of authors would you consult to know more about them? A. Michael Howe, Winifred Crombie, John Swallows and Trimble. Macro discourse pattern. C. Michael Howe, Winifred Crombie, John Swallows and Trimble. Mike, Michael Howe is a British linguist and Baines, I don't know how to read Baines or Baines, professor for English language. He has lectured in applied linguistics in over 40 countries. Howe's work has been described as being about text, not isolated words or even words within a sentence. Winifred Crombie discourse and language learning, a relational approach to syllabus design. John Swallows John Malcolm Swallows is a linguist best known for his work on genre analysis, particularly with regard to its application to the fields of purposes and, more recently, information science. Louis Preston Trimble. Trimble's work in applied linguistics examined the use of English in science and technology context. As a member of the Washington School, he advanced the grammatical rhetorical position in English through science and technology research, which argued that linguistic analysis of scientific discourse should consider the ways in which various rhetorical functions manifested grammatically in text at the discourse level. 84. Pedagogical grammar, collocational grammar, ergative verbs, semantic grammar are concept developments in linguistics Which list of authors will you consult to know more about them? The answer is letter C, Swardick, Geoffrey Leach, Celsus Morsha, and Terence Alden. Pedagogical grammar. Pedagogical grammar, how to use grammar language for people to learn the TL or target language. Collo- Collocational grammar, set phrases, verb patterns, and idioms that go together. Ergative verbs in linguistics. An ergative verb is a verb that can be either transitive or intransitive and whose subject, when intransitive, corresponds to its direct object when transitive. The door opened to to the door opened to she opened the door. Semantic grammar encodes semantic information into a syntactic grammar. Geoffrey Leach, Grammar, Corpus-Based Linguistics, Stylistics, Pragmatics, and Semantics. Celsi Morsha, Teaching English as a Second Language. Terence Odlin specializes in linguistics. He is the author of Language Transfer and of articles on language acquisition, English as a Second Language, and the English language in Ireland. Odlin is the editor of Perspectives on Pedagogical Grammar and co-editor of Language Contact, Variation, and Change, and Studies of Facilitation in Second Language Acquisition. 85 Conversational Analysis Gambits Adjacency Pairs Speech arc theory are concept developments in linguistics. Which list of authors will you consult to know more about them? The answer is John Austen, John Searle, and Dan Himes. Conversational analysis and gambits. Approaches to the study of social interaction, adjacency pairs. Unit of conversation that contains an exchange of one turn each by two speakers. Speech act theory. The speech act theory considers language as a sort of action rather than a medium to convey and express. John Langshaw Austen was a British philosopher of language and leading proponent of ordinary language philosophy, perhaps best known for developing the theory of speech acts. Locutionary act. This is the act of saying something. It has a meaning and it creates and understands an understandable utterly to convey or express. A locutionary act. It is performed as an act of saying something or as an act of opposed to saying something. There will be an intention of the speaker or others in locutionary utterances. It is often used as a tone of warning in day-to-day life. Pre-locutionary act, it normally creates a sense of consequential effects on the audiences. The effect upon the addressee is the main charactership of pre-locutionary utterances. John Searle, or Searle, basta John Searle, he created the distinction between the elocutionary force and the propositional content of an utterance. Searle does not precisely define the former of such, but rather introduces several possible illocutionary forces by example. According to Searle, the sentences "some smokes habitually," "does some smoke habitually," "some smoke habitually," "would that some smoke habitually," each indicate the same propositional content, some smoking habitually, but differ in the allocutionary force indicated, respectively a statement, a question, a command, and an expression of desire. In the sociolinguistics, speaking or the speaking model is a model sociolinguistic study developed by Dale Hymes. Hymes developed this model as part of a new methodology referred to as the ethnography of speaking. To facilitate the application of his representation, Hymes constructed the mnemonics speaking for setting and scene, participants, ends, acts, sequence K, instrumentalities, norms, and genera, under which he grouped the 16 components within 8 divisions. 86. Language learning refers to how an individual learns a language. Which statement about language learning is correct? Language learning occurs in a formal and non constructive process, letter C. An important research tradition in second language acquisition or SLA has investigated language learning as a form of language socialization. From this perspective, the acquisition of linguistic features is a process of taking on the habits and forms of a target culture. In other words, to acquire a language is to acquire a culture. 87, which theory of language learning advanced by Stephen Krashen states that a student can learn a second language if the language components are not too complex nor too easy. Comprehensible input. Letter A. 88, which method and emphasizes isolated word lists and thorough examination it it grammar of the grammar is used in second language teaching. Letter C. Grammar translation method. 89. Which of the following is not an activity under the total physical response method? The teacher gives an activity that involves students interviewing people at the market. That's the answer. Letter A. Total physical responses caters to language learners in the pre-primary and early primary grades. Hence, option A is incorrect. 90. Which hypothesis on second language acquisition states that grammatical structure proceeds in a predictable order? That is, some grammatical structures are to be acquired early and the others later. Natural order hypothesis. 91. 1. If the input hypothesis answers the question how a language an acquirer develops competency over time, the hypothesis posits that motivation, self confidence, and anxiety affect how an individual acquires the language. Which hypothesis is referred to? Affective filter hypothesis. 92. Schema theory describes the way the mind acquires, categorizes, and organizes knowledge. Which of the following is not a component of schema theory? The answer is letter C. There can be real learning without meaning. Metacognition can be defined as thinking about thinking. The essence of metacognition includes reflecting, monitoring, self questioning, and self regulating. What approach involves a lot of repetition of the second language grammatical forms, especially those that are different from the learner's first language. Audiolingual approach. What kind of second language do the learners need to learn in employing the communicative approach? The answer is the kind that they will need for a real world, real life situations. Which among the classroom principles is not part of the communicative language teaching? The answer is the distinction between language acquisition and language learning. The question's natural approach ang kana siya. 97. Which approach is frequently used in task-based language teaching? Task-based language teaching and features small group activities that promote positive interaction. The answer is cooperative learning. If the teacher asks the students to prepare a written story or text of the experience, what kind of approach has been used? Language experience approach in teaching language except one, which is the the exception. There are superior languages because there are superior cultures. If the academic language scaffolding involves providing students with second language input, that is a little bit beyond their current level. Dialogue journals create a written conversation between each student and the teacher. Which of the following is true? Both state both statements are true. The first statement is true while the second statement is false. The first statement is false. Okay. Dialogue journal, ongoing written interaction between two people to exchange experiences, ideas, or reflections. It is used often in education as a means of sustained written interaction between students and teachers at all education levels. Three types of scaffolding have been identified as being especially effective for second language learners. Wala siya answer. Hindi mo ko siya question pa nga. A. Simplifying the language. The teacher can simplify the language by shortening selections, speaking in the present tense, and avoiding the use of idioms. B. Asking for completion, not generation. The teacher can have na mamang. Karon? Wow, my favorite! Ito ganahan, daghan kay Lubi. Dami kayong macarons. Kasi matagal. Thank you. Ano dito? May mga paborito macarons. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Charmy. Kay asan ako? Interview na naman na ako. Basta, wala siya. Doon na nag-prito. Gi-oven. May kayo siya. 32 degrees daw. Cloudy. Three types of scaffolding have been identified as being especially effective for second language learners. A. Simplifying the language. The teacher can simplify the language by shortening selections, speaking in the present tense, and avoiding the use of idioms. B. Asking for completion, not generation. The teacher can have students choose answers from a list or complete a partially finished outline or paragraph. C. Using visuals, using graphic organizers and charts in presenting information. Scaffolding academic learning for second language learners. 101. Dialogue journals. Students write a topic in the second language in their journal. Blank. The teacher or a more advanced classmate acts as support as the student builds his or her second language vocabulary and fluency. The answer is academic academic language scaffolding. The domain language that an individual acquires from 1 to 2 years is blank. Basic interpersonal communication skills or BICS. Hanap man cognitively under undemanding ang BICS. Then sa right example, telephone conversation. Sa left example, face-to-face conversation. Context reduced and context embedded. Examples, demonstrations or experiments. Examples, writing a standardized test. CALP, cognitively demanding. 103. The theoretical framework for communicative language teaching or CLT includes blank. The answer is social interaction and sociocultural theories that views the learner's use of second language as the best source for teaming the second language. 104. Which hypothesis suggests that there is an optimal window of time during which anyone can learn a first language or second language in a normal or native-like level? Critical period hypothesis. Eric H. Lenenberg (1921 to 1975) argued that CP exists in case of language acquisition, examined the development of language in children in the context of developmental biology, had a similar intention as Noam Chomsky reinstate the concept of the biological basis of language capacities, used a different approach. Language is a species-specific mental organ with non-trivial biological properties. Was the father of CPH, critical period hypothesis, and successor of W. Penfield 1891-1976. Which language teaching approach never uses the first language because it emphasizes the natural dialogue in the second language? Direct approach. If the prefix "on" is attached to a base word to mean not correct, which word is incorrect? Ansad. Flu, bra, fax, and cab are words formed through clipping. Flu, influenza, bra, brassiere, fax, facsimile, or cab, taxi, cabriolet.
Teng, may soft drinks, Teng.
Kaya nagkaon ako tubig, nagkaon ko tubig, nagkaon ka itong ilang charme, tapos inom ko tubig, thank you. Cabriolet, taxi, cabriolet. Sa'y pagbasa na. Basta. Coinage is the invention of totally new terms. However, there are few coinages because the words themselves give no clue to their meanings. Which of the following is not coined? Ang answer kay Vortal. Portal, a website or web page that provides a directory of links to information related to a particular industry. Kodak, company that produces and sells camera-related products. Xerox, machine that is used for photocopying. Kleenex, company that produces and sells paper-based products, mainly tissue papers. The word skitch, which means to propel oneself while on a skateboard, came from the word skate and hitch, which sentence shows the need for mastery of their plural form. Bacteria is disease-causing microorganisms. In language learning, discrimination of sounds can be done through minimal pain, pair of words. In contrast, pair of words or pain. Hindi ko sure. Which phrase doesn't use minimal pair? Reach the peak. In written communication, punctuation marks can be used to show junctures to make the meaning clear. Which sentence expresses the idea that the speaker asks John to sleep? John, don't try to sleep now. In oral communication, a slash mark are used to signify pauses for proper communication. What meaning is conveyed by this line? Thelma is the speaker. Nadia says Thelma is a liar. Using idioms is an effective way of vocabulary enrichment. Which sentence is idiomatic? At this point, it is useless crying over something nga kapalo ka nga wala na kay mabuhat. Learning vocabulary can be done through context. What is the meaning of set on the in the sentence? Alice wants a chess set for her collection. Kit. A chess set has 32 chess pieces in two colors and a chessboard used to play chess. Which sentence is not empathic? Newsletters were used by them to spread news. To spread empathetic sentence, empathic sentences, forceful and more direct in expression. Active sentences are more empathic than passive sentences. A, B, and D active sentences, C ang passive sentence. Which sentence shows a noun in the genitives? Which sentence shows a noun in the genitive case? The teacher's grammar is excellent. It shows possession. The meaning associated with the word ear in the following sentences seem related. How are words with the same spelling and related meanings called? I put a cotton wool in my ear. He listened to their difficulties with an impatient ear. The phonetician has a good ear for tone. I tried to get her ear. Polysemys. Polysemy is the capacity for a sign to have multiple meanings, usually related by contiguity of meaning within a semantic field. Set has 464 definitions in the Oxford. Grabe no? English Dictionary runs a distant second with 396. So ang kinataasan og daghang meaning ang set 464 kabuok, ang run 396. Oronames, sakit akong te. Oronames or homophones are words which sound the same. They are normally strings of words, phrases such as ice, ink, and I stink. Bye-bye, goodbye. Dili na ako mag-end. Sakit ang tiyan. Ew. God bless sa mga let sa March. Good luck. Makapasar mong tahan nga mag-take. Bye-bye.